In this video, we'll give you 6 rookie busts in 2024 fantasy redraft leagues. I'm Jim Coventry along with Anthony Servino of RotoWire.
Jim, my first rookie bust for fantasy football redraft leagues, Braelon Allen, running back of the New York Jets, and he has a terrific skill set, terrific athletic profile, but he's a hard pill to swallow in these redraft leagues. And he's flashed so far in the offseason. He's getting a little bit of beat writer hype, especially as a pass catcher. But my biggest issue with him is the fact that he shares a backfield with Breece Hall. Now, Allen right now is going around players like Wan'Dale Robinson, Jermaine Burton, Tyrone Tracy, and Bucky Irving. They all have a clearer path to opportunity than Braelon Allen, because again, when you share a backfield with Breece Hall, it's going to be hard to get on the football field, especially with a New York Jets team overall with a very small Super Bowl window with Aaron Rodgers under center. We don't know how much longer he's going to play, and if they're going to try to go win a Super Bowl, Breece Hall is going to be a big part of that offense. So when it comes to Braelon Allen, sure, he'll get some change of pace touches, but when it comes to his true fantasy value in redraft leagues, he's going to be an injury-dependent player and a true handcuff to Breece. Jim?
My first redraft rookie bust is Jayden Daniels of the Washington Commanders. Look, we all saw as a last-year player in college, Jayden Daniels, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, great runner. How do we not make him the next superstar? Understand this. This quarterback, Jayden Daniels, had been a starter in college since 2019. It wasn't until 2023 that he threw more than 17 touchdown passes. To me, it was a man against boys last year, and that was not the quarterback we've seen for years. Now moving to the NFL. Well, when Jayden Daniels ran in college, he took a lot of hits, did not know how to avoid contact. If he does that in the NFL, Jayden Daniels will be in serious trouble, again, getting hit by men if he's going to be running at 210 pounds. That's the point of the running. He's not a big, bulky runner. He's a smaller runner. That's a problem. In terms of his passing, locks on his first read a little too much, may not have the needed velocity on passes to shred zone defenses. I'm not convinced Cliff Kingsbury is going to be a good coach. We saw what he did in Arizona. I was not impressed. So Jayden Daniels, probably a rookie bust.
Jim, my next rookie bust, Benson, tight end, Washington Commanders, and I like him more in Dynasty than in redraft. I just don't see him getting enough opportunity in year one with Zach Ertz being there. And if Zach Ertz is healthy, I believe he's the tight end one for the Washington Commanders. Ertz is reunited with Cliff Kingsbury. He's already told the press the reason why he signed with the Commanders is due to Cliff Kingsbury's presence and his system. And we have to remember, while Cliff Kingsbury and Zach Ertz were together in Arizona, Zach Ertz was very, very productive and involved in the offense when he was healthy. Now, if injury comes into play, then Sinnot sees the field, but I don't see any reason why we should draft him in redraft leagues, because if Ertz does get injured, we can always pick up Sinnot on waivers. Jim?
If you enjoy videos like this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the RotoWire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. Also, check out all of our fantasy football content and rankings by getting a free 2-day trial. No credit card needed. Just go to rotowire.com/Jim. See all of our content. My next redraft rookie bust is Xavier Worthy of the Kansas City Chiefs. I know he runs a sub 4.3 40. Xavier Worthy has elite speed. We get that. The Chiefs also in the offseason added Marquise Brown. The point, I believe, is having those 2 fast receivers to challenge safeties in the 2 high defense shells that the Chiefs often see. And by having that speed, it opens up space underneath for Travis Kelce whenever Rashee Rice is playing, even Marquise Brown. Remember, Xavier Worthy is 5'11", 165 pounds. He's a very slight player by NFL standards. Running him over the middle is probably not an option, but as a decoy on deep plays, absolutely. Occasional targets, certainly. But in terms of drafting him earlier in fantasy drafts, in terms of targets, probably not going to be more than a few targets in some weeks. There may be weeks where he doesn't see targets at all. Don't be surprised to see Worthy finish well outside the top 50 receivers in fantasy.
Jim, my next rookie bust in redraft fantasy football, another tight end, this time Brock Bowers, Las Vegas Raiders. And let's go back to last year for a second. When we see tight ends like Dalton Kincaid and Sam Laporta, they popped in fantasy. Well, recency bias comes into play. And a lot of people think Brock Bowers could potentially be the next big time tight end fantasy. I'm pumping the brakes there. He's entering a crowded tight end room that already has Michael Mayer, who came highly touted in last year's NFL draft. There's also a big-time presence of target vacuum wide receivers like Devontae Adams and to a lesser extent, Jacoby Myers. There's also a run-focused head coach and offensive system, and I expect Zamir White to be carrying that offense. Now to the quarterbacks. The quarterback room is in trouble when you look at guys like Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Whoever is on the field, these guys are going to struggle. Now, last year, Gardner Minshew ranked 23rd in catchable target rate, O'Connell 32nd in catchable target rate. So even if Bowers did see a ton of targets, they're not going to be quality of targets based on the track record of both of those quarterbacks. And when it's all said and done, I like other tight ends going around Brock Bowers more. Give me the reliable Dallas Goedert. Give me Dalton Schultz. Either one of those players I trust more in redraft. Jim?
My last redraft rookie bust is Trey Benson of the Arizona Cardinals. Full disclosure, Benson was my number one back coming out of the college class. Love him as a player. In the situation in Arizona, maybe not so hot. And in terms of ADP, Benson is going high. He's just outside the top 30 running backs, so fantasy managers are aggressively targeting him. James Conner is the heart and soul of the Arizona offense. James Conner, in many ways, had a career year last year in terms of rushing yardage, yards per carry, broken tackle rate. Conner was a beast. Also, Conner had his two good receiving games when Kyler Murray came back late in the season. What Trey Benson does is he gets downhill, and he's very good as a downhill runner. There's very little wiggle to his game. His vision in moving run to the outside, not really there. It may take Benson time to get there. Conner, on the other hand, is not just a sledgehammer. Conner can run in many different ways, and he's very agile for a player of his size. Conner is going to miss time. Write it in pen, most likely. 3-4 games has been the norm for him every year. And when Benson steps in, there could be running back 1 weeks there. But when Conner is healthy, Benson might see 10 touches in a game. And at running back 32, that's a little bit high.